Hello all my dear students. I am Amit Ajmani and I welcome you all to Sri Jendra Rank Zone classes. In this lecture, we will be taking up the questions of the chapter Carbon and its compounds. We have completed up the chapter in the previous session, and in this lecture, I expect you all are prepared. You have learned the topics and you will be relating all the questions. As always, I want you people to keep up a pen and a register with you in order to note down if anything new comes. That will help you in order to revise later. So let us directly start up with the questions. I hope you all are ready. So just check out the first question. In this question, we are asked that which of the following statements are correct for carbon compounds. Let us see out of these statements which all are the correct ones. The first statement says that most carbon compounds are good conductors of electricity. Not at all, because carbon compounds are covalent compounds. They do not conduct electricity except graphite. Carbon compounds are poor conductors of electricity. So the very first statement of the very first question is wrong. Let us see the second statement. Most carbon compounds are poor conductors of electricity. Yes, this is the right statement. The third statement is force of attraction between molecules of carbon compounds is not very strong. Now, this statement, force of attraction between carbon compounds is not very strong, is a wrong statement. Why so? Because carbon compounds are bound by strong covalent bonds, and that is why they are very stable. Fourth statement is force of attraction between molecules of carbon compounds is very strong. Yes, it is the right statement. So second and fourth statements are the correct ones. So our answer will be the A part, that is second and fourth statement. Right? Coming to the second question. C3H8. Now what exactly is C3H8? It is basically propane. It belongs to the homologous series of. Now propane is not an alkyne, it is not alkene, it is alkane. So it will belong to the homologous series of alkanes. It is not a cyclic hydrocarbon, right? It is normal simple propane. Looking at the general formula, we can relate. So the correct option is C, that is alkanes. C3H8, that means propane. It belongs to the homologous series of alkanes. Now in third question, we are given a formula and we have to write the IUPAC name of this particular structure. Applying the rules for IUPAC name, first of all, we will select the longest carbon atom chain, right? In this longest carbon atom chain, we have got 4 carbon joined by single covalent bonds. So in that case, we write the name of this compound in the box first. Looking at it, the first option is propane, which is wrong. It may be butane, perfect. It can't be propane, wrong. It may be butane, perfect. So now out of A, B, C, D, A and C are directly struck off because it is not propane with longest chain of 4 carbon atoms. Now outside the box, we have got 2 methyl groups. So it should be dimethyl. It cannot be simply methyl. So D option is also going to be struck off, and both these methyl are attached to this carbon atom, which upon the lowest numbering will get the second number. So B is the right answer, 2, 2 dash dimethyl butane. Clear? Coming to the fourth question, which of the following is the formula for butanoic acid? Now, first thing that we know is butanoic acid needs to contain COOH group, right? This first option has COOH group. The second option has COOH group. But the third option has COH but in a branch. So we have to strike off C. The third option again contains COOH group, right? Now let us see, butanoic acid needs to contain 4 carbon atoms including the carboxylic acid. In the first option, it is CH3, CH2, 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 COOH. These are 5 carbon atoms. This is not butanoic acid, it is pentanoic acid. Same is the case with B option, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 carbon atoms. It is also pentanoic acid. So D, it should be CH3 here. This is the right option. This is butanoic acid CH3-CH2-CH2-COOH. This is our butanoic acid and D is the right answer. Clear? Coming to the fifth question. The number of isomers of pentane. Now, pentane has got 3 isomers. One is N-pentane, another is iso-pentane, another is neo-pentane. So, isomers of pentane are 3. So, we will mark B as our right choice. Question number 6. Which of the following will undergo addition reactions? Now we know that addition reactions are a characteristic property of unsaturated hydrocarbons. It cannot be shown by saturated, it will be shown by both alkenes as well as alkynes. So let us see among the given options whether any alkene or alkyne is given to us or not. The first option given is CH4. Now what is this CH4? This is methane. It is an alkane, saturated hydrocarbon. It cannot show addition reaction. Next is C3H8. What is this? This is propane. Again, alkane, will not show addition reaction. Next is C2H6. This is ethane. Again, saturated hydrocarbon, can't show addition reaction. Last is C2H4. This is ethene. Now this is alkene. The unsaturated hydrocarbon, this will show addition reaction. So D part, that is what we are going to mark as the correct answer to this question. Next, when ethanoic acid is treated with sodium hydrogen carbonate, or we can also call it sodium bicarbonate, then the gas evolved is, whenever any acid reacts with carbonate or bicarbonate, it will always liberate carbon dioxide, right? So B, carbon dioxide is the right answer. Next, ethanol on complete oxidation gives, very importantly, it is complete oxidation given. So complete oxidation simply means that it is completely undergoing type of combustion. And we know that whenever in ethanol undergoes combustion, it will always form carbon dioxide and water along with the liberation of energy. Had it been partial oxidation, it would have been acetic acid or ethanoic acid, because then ethanol reacts with nascent oxygen to form acetic acid or ethanoic acid. Then our answer would have been A option. But because it is complete oxidation given here, in that case we will mark B as the right answer, carbon dioxide and water, right? Coming to the next question. Which of the following will give a pleasant smell of ester when heated with ethanol and a small quantity of sulfuric acid? This was a very important reaction when we were studying the topic. I especially told you esterification is very important. This esterification is the formation of esters always when ethanol and ethanoic acid react, right? So let us see. The first option is CH3COH. This is ethanoic acid. This is our right answer. Second option is ethanol. Third option is methanol. And next is ethanol. So alcohol and alcohol won't react to give ester. Alcohol and aldehydes don't react to give ester. It is the reaction between alcohols and acids that give us ester, and that too when the reaction takes place in the presence of a few drops of concentrated sulfuric acid. So A CH3COOH, that is our ethanoic acid, or the acetic acid, that is what our answer is. Clear? Next question. Name the functional group present in CH3COCH3. Now this is the carbonyl group present in between, and we have R1 dash carbonyl group and another is R2. R1 is the methyl group attached, R2 is also the methyl group, and this is ketone. Alcohols have OH hydroxyl group. Carboxylic acid, they have COOH group. Aldehyde have CHO group. This is a carbonyl group present in between, and we know ketones, they contain the carbonyl group in between. So this is a ketone with 3 carbon atoms, and let us revise our knowledge also. What is the name of this ketone? With 3 carbon atoms, it is propanone, the most common form of ketone, or common name is acetone. Clear? It is also called dimethyl ketone. Coming to the next question. Why does carbon form compounds mainly by covalent bonding? Let us see what is the reason given to us. There are 4 electrons in the outermost shell of carbon. Exactly. This is the main reason why carbon forms covalent bonding. A. The first option is the correct option, but let us see the other options. It requires large amount of energy to form C4 plus or C4 minus. This is also the right answer. It is also one of the reasons why carbon cannot form ionic bonding. Let us see the third option. It shares its valence electrons to complete its octet. Perfectly right answer. Covalent bonds are formed because of the sharing. So now we will write all the above. D. And this is why I always tell you that just by getting the first option, you should mark it in haste. Doesn't mean that you should not go through the other options. Make sure that you read the other options as well. Especially when out of the 4 options given, we have this option, all of the above or none of the above. These options, whenever given, need special attention. Got it? So D, all the above. This is what we are going to mark in question number 11. Let us see question number 12. Addition reactions are undergone by, now it is undergone by saturated hydrocarbons, alkanes. No. Why? Because it is a characteristic property of unsaturated hydrocarbons. Only alkenes? No. Alkynes also show it. Only alkynes? No, alkenes also show it. So D, both alkenes and alkynes is the right answer. Both are unsaturated, and the addition reactions are shown by unsaturated alkenes as well as alkynes, both of them. Clear? Next question. Identify A in the following reaction. Here CH3COOH, this is our acetic acid or ethanoic acid. It is reacting with sodium carbonate Na2CO3 to form A plus CO2 plus water. Now we know that whenever acid reacts with carbonates, it will form sodium salt plus carbon dioxide plus water, right? And the sodium salt here is CH3COONA, sodium ethanoate or sodium acetate. It is not sodium hydroxide, it is not sodium bicarbonate, it is not this particular compound, so it will be A, sodium ethanoate or sodium acetate, which will be formed. Clear? Coming to the next question. Which of the following belongs to homologous series of alkynes? Now, for attempting these kind of questions of homologous series of any particular carbon compound, whether it is alkane or alkene or alkyne, you always need to relate the general formula. And the simplest rule is, whenever we are given any compound, we will just relate the number of carbon and hydrogen atoms. If the number of hydrogen atoms are exactly double of that of carbon atoms, it is alkene. If the number of hydrogen atoms are 2 more than double the number of carbon atoms, it is alkanes. And the general formula of alkyne says that the number of hydrogen atom should be 2 less than double the number of carbon atoms. So let us see C6H6. This is benzene. It is not an alkyne. C2H6. Here it is ethane because the number of hydrogen atoms are 6 and the number of carbon atoms are 2. So number of hydrogen atoms are 2 more than double the number of carbon. This is ethane, alkane, not alkene once again. Alkyne, sorry. Now the B option is C2H4. The number of hydrogen atoms are just double to that of carbon. This is an alkene with 2 carbon atoms. It will be ethene. Again, it is not an alkyne. So this D part, C3H4. The number of hydrogen atoms are 4. The number of carbon atoms are 3. Making it double becomes 6, and 2 less than 6 is 4. So this is alkyne with 3 carbon atoms. And what will be its specific name? Propyne. So this D is the one which belongs to the homologous series of alkynes. Clear? Coming to the next question. A hydrocarbon has 4 carbon atoms. Give its molecular formula if it is an alkene. Simple rule I have just told in the above question. Carbon atoms are 4, so hydrogen atoms should be double to it. That means 8. So it can't be C4H10, can't be C4H6. It is C4H8. Clear? B is the right answer, C4H8. Next question. Give the IUPAC name of CH3CO C2H5. This you have seen many a times. Esterification process. It is an ester. And what is its name? The name is ethyl ethanoate, or it is ethyl acetate. Fine, it is an ester. It is not an acid. It is not butanoate simply, and it is not ethyl methyl carboxylic acid. It is ester ethyl ethanoate. You are going to mark C for this question. Next, identify A and B. Now let us see what exactly is given to us in the question. Ethanol CH3CH2OH upon oxidation in presence of acetic acid and chromium oxide will give A, and alkaline KMNO4 it will give B. Now ethanol always initially is converted into aldehyde, and then it finally gets converted into acids upon oxidation. So let us see which is the aldehyde part. A, it is ethanol A and ethanoic acid B. In B option, it is ethanoic acid and ethanol. It should be other way around. And again, ethanol and carbon dioxide water, it can't be considered. So A is the right answer. In the presence of chromium oxide in CH3COH, ethanol is oxidized to form aldehyde ethanol, and with alkaline potassium permanganate as an oxidizing agent, it will be converted into acid, that is ethanoic acid. So A will be the right answer. Coming to the next question. The first member of the alkyne homologous series is, now we know that in case of unsaturated hydrocarbons, both alkene as well as alkyne, myth with one carbon atom is not possible. They start with minimum two carbon atoms, so the first member will be ethine. Firstly, it is an alkyne, so it should be YNE. Second important thing, it should contain minimum two carbon atoms. Ene is not an alkyne, ane is not an alkyne, and propyne is the second member, not the first member. So B, ethine is the right answer. Let us see the next question. In diamond, each carbon atom is bonded to four other carbon atoms to form an hexagonal array or a rigid three-dimensional structure or a structure in the shape of a football or the structure of a ring. It is not a hexagonal array, it is formed in case of graphite, right? It is not the structure of a ring. This is basically in the case of the sulfur molecule. It is not structure in the shape of football. This is Buckminster Fullerene. The right answer is B. It is a rigid three-dimensional structure. Tetrahedron structure it is called. This is what each carbon atom after getting bonded with four other carbon atoms diamond will form. Let us come to the next question. A soap molecule has a hydrophobic head and hydrophobic tail. We know the structure, the tadpole structure of a soap molecule. Initially, it is the short ionic part which is hydrophilic. That is the head. And the long hydrocarbon part, this is the hydrophobic tail part. Both cannot be hydrophobic, right? Both cannot be hydrophilic. So A and C are direct no-no. Now let us come to B and D. Hydrophobic head. No, the head is not hydrophobic. The head is hydrophilic. The tail is hydrophobic. So D is the right answer. Got it? Coming to next question. Dash CHO. It represents which functional group? This is aldehydes. Esters, they are having the structure form molecular formula of R1COOR2, where R1 and R2 are alkyl groups. Alcohols have hydroxyl group OH. Carboxylic acids have carboxyl group COOH. It is the aldehydes having CHO. So these are the aldehydes we are talking about here. So D will be the right answer. Coming to the next question. A functional group mainly determines now the functional group will determine the chemical properties of a compound. It doesn't determine the physical properties, so both and none of these can't be the right option. A functional group is mainly a group which when attached to any carbon compound changes its chemical properties. So B will be the right answer. Got it? Next. Solubility of alcohol in water is due to, is it because of low density of alcohol? Not at all. Is it because of the volatile nature? Doesn't make any sense. Is it because of the ionization or due to the hydrogen bonding? It is due to the hydrogen bonding, because of which alcohol is readily soluble in water. Clear? So D is the answer we are going to mark for question number 23. Coming to question number 24. Artificial flavor for orange is obtained from. Now we know that all the artificial flavors are made up of esters. So let us see the options given to us. Amyl acetate, isoamyl valproate, methyl butyrate or octyl acetate. These are all esters, and I am sure most of you must not be knowing the answer to this question because we haven't studied the specific esters while we were taking up the teaching. So please note it down. It is octyl acetate. This is where artificial flavor for orange is obtained from. Octyl acetate. Got it? Next, drinking alcohol is very harmful and it ruins the health. Drinking alcohol stands for which alcohol is normally used for drinking? That alcohol which is used in alcoholic beverages. And that alcohol is ethanol or the ethyl alcohol. So it is the B option, drinking ethyl alcohol or ethanol, because this is the alcohol which is used in the alcoholic beverages, wine, beer, whiskey. One of the very important uses, remember when we were studying, I told you specially, sterilizing wounds and syringes and constituent of wine and beer. These were the two very important uses of ethanol. Clear? Next, good question. The ionic part of synthetic detergent is, very importantly, it is A part. It is OSO3Na, because detergents were the sodium salts of long chain benzene sulfonic acids or sulfates. So either it is SO3 minus Na plus or SO4 minus Na plus. COONA is a sodium salt basically. COOH acids, COOCH3, either it is the ketones or aldehydes. So in detergents, it is the sodium salt of sulfates or sulfonic acids. SO3 minus Na plus. A is the right answer. Clear? Next question is the difference in the formula and molecular mass of CH3OH, which is methanol, and C2H5OH, which is ethanol. So we are talking about the homologous series of alcohols, methanol, ethanol. These are two adjacent homologues, and we know that as per the properties of homologous series that we have studied, any two adjacent homologues of any homologous series, they differ by CH2 as per their formula, and 14 atomic mass units is the difference in the molecular masses of any two adjacent homologues. So B will be the right answer. CH2 as per formula and 14 units as per the molecular mass. This is the difference between methanol and ethanol, or in fact any two homologues of any homologous series. Next question. Which of the following statements about graphite and diamond is true? Let us see. They have the same crystal structure. No, because these are allotropes having altogether different physical properties. They have the same degree of hardness. Obviously not. Diamond is very hard, graphite is so soft. They have the same electrical conductivity. Once again, they are totally opposite to it. Diamond is a poor conductor, whereas graphite is a good conductor of electricity. So can't be. They can undergo the same chemical reactions. Yes, because all the allotropes, whether it is diamond or graphite or Buckminster fullerene, they are 100% carbon, and their chemical reactions, chemical properties, they will be identical. They will be same. Clear? Coming to the next question. Which of the following is ethanol? I think this is the simplest question that we have encountered till now. Ethanol, the formula is CH3CHO. No, it is aldehyde. Let us name all the rest also. This is ethanol. CH3COOH. COOH is carboxylic acid group. This is acid of two carbon atom, ethanoic acid or acetic acid. CH3CH2OH. Yes, this is our OH alcohol with two carbon atoms. This is our ethanol. The last option is CH3COOCH3. This is methyl ethanoate, an ester. Got it? So C is ethanol, CH3CH2OH. Coming to the next question. Which of the following contains covalent bond? Now we know that covalent bonds are formed between two non-metals. Let us see the options. Magnesium chloride. Magnesium is a metal Metal always combines with non-metals to form ionic compounds. Similarly, calcium fluoride, we have calcium as a metal. Aluminium oxide, aluminium is a metal. So these, because they contain metals, they are all ionic compounds or electrovalent compounds. They cannot form covalent bonds. It is HCl, hydrogen and chlorine. They both react, sharing the electrons and hence forming the covalent bond between them. Clear? Next, the number of covalent bonds in C4H10 butane. Do not guess, just in 1 second make the structure formula of butane. We have got 4 carbon atoms connected by single covalent bond, and these will be the valencies filled up by hydrogen bonds. Simply count the number of bonds. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. 13 covalent bonds are present in C4H10, which is our butane. Clear? Next, which among the following will conduct electricity? Now, importantly, we know that electricity is conducted by ionic compounds, not covalent compounds. So, the very first option, C6H12O6, it's a covalent compound, glucose, it will not conduct electricity. KCl, potassium chloride, is an ionic compound, but the problem is the thing you need to observe is S. This is solid state. So we know that even the ionic compounds conduct electricity in their molten form or in their aqueous form. So because of this solid state, we have to cross it. Next is ethanol. Ethanol is a poor conductor of electricity, covalent compound. NaCl, sodium chloride, in aqueous form, it will conduct electricity. So KCl and NaCl both are ionic compounds, but you need to observe the physical state as well, because based on that only you will be able to mark the right answer. Fine. So it is just not covalent or ionic compound. In ionic compound also you need to see the physical state. Next question. The self-linkage property catenation is maximum in. I don't think there is any need for anyone to even think about it. We know that the answer is carbon. It is maximum in carbon catenation, and this is one of the main reasons why carbon forms such a huge number of compounds. Clear? Next, ethane and ethene. This is alkane and this is alkene, can be distinguished by. Now we can distinguish between alkane and alkene with bromine water test. Right? Now bromine water, why? Because alkanes will only substitute. That means they will undergo substitution reaction. So when bromine water is added to them, they cannot decolorize bromine water. But alkenes, because being unsaturated, they can show addition reactions. So they will add bromine and hence the bromine color will be decolorized. So it cannot be iodine or chlorine. It is bromine. Now is it in the liquid or bromine in the aqueous form? It is in the aqueous form that we use bromine water. Bromine water test is used to distinguish between the alkanes and alkenes or alkynes, that is the saturated and unsaturated hydrocarbons. Fine. Coming to the next question. Carbon exists in the atmosphere in the form of carbon monoxide only? No, carbon dioxide is also there. Carbon monoxide in traces and carbon dioxide, yes. Carbon dioxide only? No, in the form of coal. It doesn't exist in atmosphere. Coal is not a gas. So B, carbon monoxide in traces and carbon dioxide. This is the right choice. Clear? Let's see the next question. Which of the following statements are usually correct for carbon compounds? Are they good conductors of electricity? No, this is a repeated question from NCERT exemplar which has come in the exams. We have seen above. Are they poor conductors? Yes. They have strong force of attraction between their molecules? No. And they do not have strong forces of sorry. Third is yes, and they do not have no. So this is a repeated question. The very first question of this chapter was of this session was this. Next, a molecule of ammonia has how many single bonds? Only single bonds, only double bonds, only triple bonds, two double bonds and one single bond. So let us check up. Ammonia is NH3, so hydrogen is there, and we know that hydrogen can only share one electron and it can form only single bond. Hydrogen cannot form any double or triple bond. So it will be A option. Only single bonds will be there in the molecule of ammonia. Clear? Next question. Buckminster fullerene is an allotropic form of course, it is an allotropic form of carbon. It's not phosphorus or sulfur or tin. We know it. It's quite simple question. Diamond, graphite and Buckminster fullerene are the three forms of carbon. Next, it's a good question. Which of the following are correct structural isomers of butane? Now let us first of all try to relate what exactly are the differences between them. In the first one, we have got C with 3 hydrogen, it is correct. C with 2 hydrogen, correct, valency completed. C with 2 hydrogen, correct. This C is with 2 hydrogen, which is wrong. There should be another hydrogen also. So this is not the correct structural isomer of butane, right? Let us see the second one. C with 3 hydrogen, correct. C with 1 hydrogen and 3 hydrogen other C is correct. But here it should be C, not H, because carbon-carbon will combine with themselves. Let us see the another part. In this, we have got C, H3 is correct, but these two carbon atoms are combined with one. No, it doesn't happen like this. Next, this is basically not an isomer, but this is basically a cyclic hydrocarbon, right? Now, given options are first and third, second and fourth, first and second, third and fourth. So it means that there is some, I suppose, printing error. The H has been missing here and C is here. So as per that, the first one and the second one must be correct, because third bonding can't be right and fourth is not an isomer. So as per the given options, we will mark the first and second, that is the C part. Okay. Next question is CH3 CH2OH plus CH3COH. Right. Alkaline KMnO4 heating is being done. In the given reaction, alkaline KMnO4 acts as. Now, alkaline KMnO4 is acting as an oxidizing agent because it will provide the nascent oxygen to alcohol to get converted into acid. Clear? So this acid should have been written here. In this question also we have got some error. So please cooperate with this. I'll be telling you where and how the errors are there and how to correct them. The best part is that in this question we are not much concerned about the reaction. We are only concerned about the role of alkaline potassium permanganate, which we already know that it is an oxidizing agent which will provide nascent oxygen to ethanol and oxidize ethanol to get converted into ethanoic acid. Clear? Coming to the next question. Oils on treating with hydrogen in the presence of palladium or nickel. This is hydrogenation, right? This is an example of, this is an addition reaction taking place, right? In which hydrogen is added. This is hydrogenation of oils, in which we convert the vegetable oils into the saturated vanaspati ghee. So the correct answer is A, addition reaction. Clear? Coming to the next question. Which of the following is the correct representation of electron dot structure of nitrogen? Now we know that nitrogen shares 3 electrons. It cannot be 1, it cannot be 2, and here only 3 are given. So all these are incorrect options. This is the right answer, in which nitrogen shares 3 electrons with another nitrogen and forms a nitrogen molecule. So the answer is D. Clear? Coming to next question. Structural formula of ethine. Now ethine we know contains triple bond and 2 carbon atoms. So the very first option, CH, triple bond CH, this is the right one, because it needs to contain triple bond. This and this have got only single bonds. This contains triple bond, but it contains 3 carbon atoms. 3 carbon atom alkyne will be propyne, not ethine. So YNE means triple bond and ETH, eth means 2 carbon atoms. A is the right answer. Fine. Coming to the next question. Chlorine reacts with saturated hydrocarbons at room temperature in the, now whenever chlorination is taking place, this is an example of chlorination, substitution reaction of saturated hydrocarbons, and we know that chlorination always takes place in the presence of sunlight. So it should be B. The right answer is B. Next question says pentane has the molecular formula C5H12. That's correct. It has how many covalent bonds? Again, no guesswork in here. Just make pentane. This is 5 carbon atoms connected with single bonds. Carbon has 4 valency, so it should have all the 4 valencies filled, and that they are filled with hydrogen, right? So let us see how many covalent bonds are there. These are 3 plus 3 6 plus 3 9 plus 3 12 plus 3 15 and 1 is 16. It contains 16 covalent bonds. So simple, C is the right answer. Fine. Coming to the next question. Ethanol reacts with sodium and forms 2 products. This is the chemical properties. I specially told you all the chemical reactions and the chemical properties of ethanol and carboxylic acids are very important, and you have already seen so many questions have already come. This is one of them. We know that whenever ethanol reacts with sodium, sodium will displace hydrogen and it will liberate hydrogen. So hydrogen will be formed. No oxygen can be liberated. Directly we will cut off B and D option. Next, we are left with the main product, and the main product is not sodium ethanoate. It is sodium ethoxide, C2H5ONA. So C is the right answer to question number 46. Next, vinegar is a solution of. Vinegar is not a solution of acetic acid in alcohol. There is no alcohol involved. Directly cut it off. Next options are acetic acid in water, acetic acid in water. Both of them are correct. Let us see the first part. Is it 5 to 8% or 50 to 60%? I think you all know it is 5 to 8% of acetic acid in water. This is what vinegar is. Clear? Next, carbon forms 4 covalent bonds by sharing its 4 valence electrons with 4 univalent atoms, that is hydrogen. After the formation of 4 bonds, carbon attains the electronic configuration of. Now we know that carbon has atomic number of 6. So electronic configuration is 2,4. Now after sharing 4 electrons, it becomes 2,8. And of which element is the configuration 2,8? It is neon. So the answer is B. Got it? Next, the correct electron dot structure of water molecule is. What is the correct structure of the water molecule? Let us see what are the options given to us in the question. Now students, I think once again there is some error, because simple and straightforward we all know water is H2O, and none of the options given contains 2 hydrogen atoms. Rather it contains 2 oxygen atoms. So I think all the oxygen here, it should be hydrogen. Now let us see which is the correct option. We know that hydrogen can only form single bond, right? And in order to just form an inert gas, it will share one electron with oxygen. So C is the right answer, in which there is single bond, 2 electron, one shared pair of each hydrogen. In the first case, let us see what the difference is. It is one electron shared here and one electron here. It should be 2. In the second case, we have 2 electrons with the first hydrogen but only 1 with the second. And in next, we have 2 with oxygen, but oxygen has been with 2 electrons only. It should be 6. So I hope you are able to have the difference between them. Why exactly C is the right answer. Okay. Next question is, which among the following are unsaturated hydrocarbons? Unsaturated, I think it's very simple, containing double or triple bond. The first is having only single bonds, it is not an unsaturated. The second one is having triple bond, it is unsaturated. Third one is also not having any double or triple bond, only single bonds, saturated, not unsaturated. And the last one has a double bond, it is unsaturated. So ultimately second and fourth are our unsaturated hydrocarbons. Let us see which option gives it. First and third, second and fourth. This C option is the right one. Correct? Coming to the next question. Which of the following does not belong to same homologous series? Once again, the application of the general formula. CH4, this is methane. It belongs to alkane series. C2H6 is ethane, again belonging to the alkane series. C3H8 is propane, again belonging to alkane series. C4H8 is, what is it? Butene. It is an alkene. So it does not belong to the homologous series of alkanes, and therefore D is the right answer. And how do we get to know it? Just by relating their general formula. We know that alkanes have 2 hydrogen atoms more than twice the number of carbon. The general formula is CnH2n plus 2. And if it is the number of hydrogen atoms are exactly double to that of carbon, this is CnH2n, and this is the formula for alkenes. Clear? So we'll mark D as our answer. Next, the heteroatoms present in CH3 single bond CH2 single bond O single bond CH2 single bond CH2Cl are. Now what are the heteroatoms which are present here? One is chlorine and one is oxygen. So oxygen is present, carbon is not heteroatom, hydrogen isn't, chlorine. So first and fourth, these are the heteroatoms, and therefore we are going to mark our answer to be D. D option is the right answer. Clear? Coming to the next question. Which of the following represents saponification reaction. We know that saponification is the hydrolysis of esters, right? It is the reaction of ester with caustic soda to form sodium salt and the parent alcohol. So let us try to relate the reactant first. CH3CONA plus NaOH. This is a sodium salt. It is not an ester. Acid plus alcohol. It is esterification. Acid plus sodium. No ester. CH3COOC2H5. This is our ester ethyl ethanoate reacting with NaOH, sodium hydroxide, to form salt and parent alcohol. This is the correct reaction for saponification, which is also known as hydrolysis of esters. Clear? Next is ethanol reacts with sodium metal to form. This same reaction has come above also, but there it was the names written, and in this question we have been given the formula. Because it is ethanol, it cannot be CH3 because this is methyl. So it will be C2H5ONA because sodium will displace hydrogen and form sodium ethoxide. Sodium salt, sodium acetate is not formed, and obviously it is not the acid getting formed. So B, sodium ethoxide plus hydrogen. This is what exactly is formed when ethanol reacts with sodium metal. Fine. Next, the alcoholic drinks they contain ethanol, ethyl alcohol. The first one is methanol, not the right answer. CH3CH2OH is ethanol. Yes, this is the answer. Right? Alcoholic drinks, they contain ethanol. Third is CH3COH. Acetic acid, no. CH3COH3 should be CH3 ester, no. So the right answer is B, ethanol. All the alcoholic beverages, they contain ethyl alcohol or ethanol. Fine. Next, the blindness and death is caused by consuming adulterated liquor which contains methanol. Methanol is highly poisonous, because of which blindness and death may occur. Right? So it is methanol which causes blindness and death because it is poisonous. Next, ethanol on heating at 443 K with concentrated sulfuric acid. Again, very important question based on the chemical properties of alcohols and acids. Those who have practiced them, very good. Those who haven't, make sure that you learn those reactions. They all are very important. This is one of them. This is dehydration of ethanol. Here, concentrated sulfuric acid is acting as a dehydrating agent, and upon dehydration, ethanol gets converted into alkene, that is ethene. Here, so A is the right answer, and the reaction is dehydration of ethanol. Coming to the next question. The variety of coal having highest carbon content is, now this is anthracite, which contains the highest carbon content. Fine. Next, the main constituent of LPG, liquefied petroleum gas, the main constituent is butane. Had it been CNG, this is compressed natural gas. The main constituent of CNG is methane, but of LPG, it is butane. Clear? Next question. Thermodynamically, the most stable allotrope of carbon is, if we are talking about the most stable, it is the diamond, the hardest substance. It is the most stable allotrope of carbon thermodynamically, right? So A will be the right answer. Coming to the next question. Graphite is used as a lubricant in machines because it's a good conductor of electricity. Yes, graphite is a good conductor, but for that reason, it is used as making electrodes in dry cell, not as a lubricant. Next option is it has a high melting point and slippery layers. Yes, a lubricant should be soft and slippery. Number one. Number two, when we are talking about machines, they operate at high temperatures. So a good lubricant should have a high melting point, otherwise it is going to melt. Fine. Let us see the other options. Its density, nothing to relate with the density. It is strong and soft. They are oxymorons. If it is soft, how it can be strong? So this is also a foolish option. So the right answer is B. Graphite is used as a lubricant because it is a good because it has a high melting point and it has slippery layers. It is very soft and slippery and soapy to touch. Next question is allotrope of carbon, which is a good conductor of heat and electricity. We don't have to think it is graphite. It can't be diamond or charcoal. Fine. Next, which of the following is not considered a crystalline allotrope of carbon? The crystalline allotropes are diamond, graphite, and Buckminster fullerene. Right? Coal is not a crystalline form. Right? So this is the right answer. Next, which form of carbon is found in Golconda mines of Karnataka? We know that Golconda mines are diamond mines. So it has to be diamond, which is a form of carbon, allotrope of carbon. Next, lead pencil contains graphite. Why? Reason also you should know. Because graphite is soft, it is black, and it can mark paper black. Because of this reason, lead pencils are made up of graphite. Next is, see, the same question that we just discussed 5 questions back. The major constituent of CNG is. Now CNG is mainly methane. This is CH4. And LPG is mainly butane, that is C4H10. So over there we were given the names and over here we are given the formulas. So as per the formula we can simply relate which one is methane and which one is butane depending upon whether it is CNG or LPG. Next, which form of coal is the preferred domestic fuel? It is the anthracite, which is a preferred domestic fuel. Next is petroleum is refined by. Now we have studied in junior classes also that it is the process of fractional distillation by which we refine petroleum and obtain all its constituent components like petrol and diesel and asphalt and wax and petroleum gas. Okay, so it is fractional distillation. Coming to the next question, an allotrope form of carbon used for cutting and drilling. Obviously, it is diamond. One of the main uses of diamond in the form of black diamond. That form is used in cutting and drilling equipment because diamond is very very hard. Next, the variety of coal used as old house coal is. Now this is bituminous. Right? This is the variety of coal. So the right answer is D, bituminous. Let's see the next question. When petroleum is heated, the vapors contain mainly. When petroleum is heated, the vapors mainly contain the petroleum ether. Right? So this is B. The right answer is petroleum ether. Coming to the next question, which of these substances is made from coal? Is it paper or iron or coke or lactose? It is the coke, which is obtained by the destructive distillation of coal by heating it in the absence of oxygen. Clear? So B, coke. is the right answer. It is the substance which is obtained from coal. Next question. The soft brown coal mined in Germany and Australia is called. Now I think most of you don't know this answer. Please mark it up, note it down. It is lignite. This is the soft brown colored coal which is mined mainly in Germany and Australia. It is lignite. Clear? Next question is, which of these fuels is smokeless? Wow, this question I was anticipating. I told you in our first lecture that the smokeless fuel is coke. It doesn't produce any smoke. So coke, D option is the right one. Clear? Next, when petroleum burns, the chemical energy changes into, it has to be heat energy, because petrol, this is a fuel which when burns produces heat energy. So B, heat is the right answer. Let us see what is there in store for the next question. Match the column 1 and column 2. In column 1 we have got 4 options A, B, C, D. Column 2 we have got 1, 2, 3, 4. We have to match them. Solid fuel, liquid fuel, gaseous fuel used in cooking, and gaseous fuel used in transportation. Solid fuel can't be LPG, can't be CNG, can't be kerosene. It has to be paraffin wax. So the solid fuel is paraffin wax. When we are talking about liquid fuel, LPG, we know the full form, liquefied petroleum gas. CNG is compressed natural gas, so that they are in the gaseous form. Liquid one is kerosene, which is in the liquid form. The gaseous fuel that we use in our cooking, we don't have to even think about it. It is the LPG. And the gaseous fuel used in transportation is the CNG. So quite easy column matching, I suppose. So solid fuel A is matched with third part. So A is matched with 1, no, 4, no, third. Let us confirm the rest ones. B should be matched with 4, right? C should match with the first, LPG, right? And D should match with CNG, right? So we will mark C to be our answer. Clear? Coming to the next question. The process in which a substance combines chemically with oxygen above its ignition temperature with the evolution of large amount of heat and light in a very short time is. Now this is rapid combustion. This is rapid combustion in which large amount of heat and light is liberated in a very short time, and the substance is combining chemically with oxygen above its ignition temperature. Clear? D is the right answer. Next, a dilute solution of ethanoic acid in water. Again, I think a very simple question. We know the answer is vinegar. B option, vinegar. It is the dilute solution, 5 to 8% solution of ethanoic acid in water. Clear? Next question. The gas evolved when ethanoic acid reacts with sodium carbonate. Again, this is a repeated question, but the difference is above when we have done the same question, it was the formulas of ethanoic acid and sodium carbonate given. Here they have spelled out the word, the names. But we know that whenever ethanoic acid reacts with any carbonate or any hydrogen carbonate, it will always and always evolve carbon dioxide gas. Fine. Next question is the ability of carbon to form long chain compounds. This is called self-linking property, or the other name is catenation. It is not isomerization, it is not tetravalency, it is not polymerization. It is the self-linking property of carbon called catenation, due to which carbon can combine with more carbon atoms and form very long chains. Clear? Coming to the next question, the type of reaction shown by unsaturated hydrocarbons. Now the unsaturated hydrocarbons, they have their characteristic property of showing the addition reaction. The alkenes and the alkynes, they undergo addition reaction. They cannot undergo substitution. They don't undergo displacement. They will undergo addition reactions. Next, pure ethanol is also given the name of, remember I told you, specially I marked it while teaching, this is absolute alcohol, because we are talking about 100% pure ethanol. Acetone is actually propanone, it is not alcohol. Vinegar is also not alcohol, it is acetic acid or ethanoic acid in water. And spirit is the commercial alcohol, which is 5 to 8% of the alcohol or ethanol in water. So right answer is C, that is absolute alcohol, which is the 100% pure alcohol. Coming to the next question, the acid present in vinegar is, it is ethanoic acid, we simply know. It's not butanoic, it's not methanoic, it's not propanoic. Vinegar is a 5 to 8% solution of ethanoic acid in water. Fine. Next, the number of single and double bonds present in benzene are. Now in benzene, number one, we will take only 1 minute to form benzene, right? But I'll tell you one more way of doing this question. We know that in benzene it is alternate single and double bonds, right? So 6 double bonds can't be there. 15 double bonds, not possible at all. 6 double bonds can't be there. So we are simply left with A answer. 12 single and 3 double bonds. These 3 double bonds we are sure of. We are not sure of single bonds, but we are not given any other option containing 3 double bonds. So it has to be A, but still we will counter check just for our revision. We know that benzene has 6 carbon atoms and it has single bond, double bond, single bond, double bond, single bond, double bond, alternate single and double bond it has between carbon atoms. And the valency is filled with one hydrogen atom with each carbon. So now if we count the number of double bonds, we already know first, second and third. 3 double bonds are there. Let us confirm about the single bonds also. This is the first single bond, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth. We are just given 9. Why is it so? It should be 9 here, not 12. Because benzene consists of, the formula is C6H6. Fine. So it contains 9 single bonds, but because they are the double bonds specifically mentioned, otherwise these bonds are also considered to be 2 bonds. But it should be 9 single and 3 double bonds in the option. Misprinting, because rather than bonds it is written bands everywhere. So we can relate why is it so, because of the misprinting. So benzene contains 9 single and 3 double bonds. Fine. Next question is, which of the following is an aldehyde? Once again, functional groups, we know that aldehyde contains CHO group, and because they are all in the form of structural formula, so it should be C double bond O single bond H. Let us see where it is. This is CH3 single bond C double bond O, but rather than H we have got CH3. So this is not an aldehyde, rather it is a ketone with carbonyl group in between and CH3 CH3 two alkyl groups at the starting at the end. This is 3 carbon atom ketone called propanone. Second option is CH3 CO CH2 CH3, again a ketone containing carbonyl group in between. This is R1 methyl group. This is R2 ethyl group. This is 4 carbon atom ketone, which is basically butanone. Next is HCH double bond O. Yes, this is our aldehyde with 1 carbon atom. This is methanol or formaldehyde. Let us check out the fourth one also. This is HC double bond to OH. This is carboxylic acid. This is HCOOH. 1 carbon atom carboxylic acid is methanoic acid. So these are wrong options. The right answer is B. This is an aldehyde and the name is methanol, or the common name is formaldehyde. Coming to the next question. Which of the following functional group represents a ketone? Now this is COH, aldehyde group. COOH, this is basically carboxylic acid group. C double bond O, this is our ketone. Having hydroxyl group is alcohol. So B, carbonyl group, having two dashes in front and behind the carbon for R1 and R2 alkyl groups. This is what the formula for ketone is. B is the right answer. Next question is ethane with molecular formula C2H6 has how many covalent bonds? Check it out. 2 carbon atoms are there. With single bond it is ethane. Rest of the valency filled up with hydrogen. So we have got 4 and 3, 7 covalent bonds which are present in ethane having formula C2H6. Clear? Coming to the next question. The number of carbon atoms in Buckminster fullerenes are very simple. It contains 60 carbon atoms. It is also known as C60. It's containing a football structure, pentagonal and hexagonal, right? So 60 carbon atoms are present in Buckminster fullerenes. Next question is crystalline form of carbon is. Again, we know the crystalline forms of carbon are diamond, graphite and Buckminster fullerene. The options given here are charcoal, coke, coal and diamond. We'll choose diamond, and the rest of all these are the amorphous forms of carbon, not the crystalline forms. Next question is which amongst the given pair of compounds forms a homologous series? This question we have already done. It has been asked twice. So it's quite important. This is CH3OH, right? This is methanol and CH3CH2CH2OH, right? This is basically our what? Propanol. These are not a given pair. They belong to the same homologous series, but as a pair they are not adjacent. Next is CH3CHO, which is ethanol, and CH3CH2CHO. This is propanol. Ethanol and propanol, this forms a homologous series pair. Let us see next. This is CH3COH and CH2CH7COH. No. 2 carbon atom, 3 carbon atom, COH is okay, but the number of hydrogen atoms are given wrong, so that is a wrong option. Next is CH3CH2OH. This is hydroxyl group, 2 carbon atoms. It's an alcohol of 2 carbon atoms, ethanol. And CH3CHO. This is an aldehyde of 2 carbon atoms, that is ethanol. So how can alcohol and ethanol be a part of the same homologous series? It can never be. So we will mark B to be our right answer. The two compounds forming pair are CH3CHO, that is ethanol, and CH3CH2CHO, that is propanol. Let's see the next question. Which out of the following is an unsaturated hydrocarbon? Cyclobutane. Butane is saturated single bond alkane. Hexanol, it is an alcohol containing single bond. Propyne, it is an unsaturated hydrocarbon. Propyne is alkyne containing triple bonds. So this is an alkyne, unsaturated hydrocarbon. and ethane is an alkane. So the right answer is propyne, B option. This is our unsaturated hydrocarbon among these given options. Clear? So guys, this is all about the questions related to carbon and its compounds. Fine, these are the questions which we have already seen in the examinations in the previous years. But that doesn't mean that these are the only questions that we need to get prepared with. Obviously, there are so many other things which may be asked. Doing these questions means minimum you should do these. These are must. Now, after taking up all these questions, lot of students have different kind of reactions. Number one, some feel very happy because they know mostly all the answers and they were correct too. So their confidence level will increase. Some of them half, right? Sometimes happy when giving 5 or 6 or 8 correct answers, and sometimes feeling upset because 3, 4 directly and continuously getting wrong. Need to work out. And those students who actually have lot many wrong answers, they need to be concerned. Now once again, there are two reasons for it. One is you never got prepared. So the question arises, why? When in the last lecture I specially told you, and now since you know that we always take up the questions, why you were not prepared, why you are creating a burden on yourself, you shouldn't. Clear? And second reason is, which is more concerning, that you prepared but somehow you still are giving wrong answers. So that means you need to recheck your preparation. You need to rethink about the way you learn and the way you practice. Okay, so keep working on your errors, because the whole purpose of doing all this exercise is not only to make you learn the topics, not only to make you relate the topics, not only to know your errors, but main is to improve your errors, to relate your weak areas, to relate where exactly you are lacking. Is it the preparation? Is it that you learned but you forgot? Is it the language of the questions that you are not able to relate? Is it the options in which you get confused? So many reasons for giving wrong answers. So you need to find out where you are lacking. And a good student is the one who knows his weak areas and he works on them so as to improve them, because there is no point doing all these questions, wasting so much of time, and you are simply just listening and listening and listening. No, there is no use, no advantage of doing it. Fine. So it's better that you start working, and it's always good that you know your errors and you improve in that by working harder. Clear? So this is all about carbon and its compounds, and this is all about our this particular lecture. I'm just ending it up here only. In the next lecture, we'll be taking up a new chapter, a new topic. So you don't have anything else to do. Rather than doing anything else or wasting your time, make sure that you actually work out on where exactly you were weak, where you were wrong, or what were the various topics in which you still don't feel much confident. Clear? So please revise and learn the whole chapter, and I repeat, please make sure that all the reactions which have come in between, you practice them writing it with your own hand. Do not do it verbally. Make sure you know the formulas and the names of both the reactants as well as the products. Got it, guys? So, time to leave now. Enjoy yourself and have a great day. We'll meet in the next class with the next topic. Till then, take care of yourself. Stay healthy. Stay happy. Good day, guys.